What is up, everybody? This is NerdingOutSports, and today, previewing Week 4, Giants and Rams out in LA in their beautiful new stadium, and it's a game that basically nobody thinks the Giants are going to win, and for good reason. The Giants looked terrible last week. We know how bad they were. The good news is the Giants have a chance to go out there Sunday and erase that game by putting on a better performance this week. Win or lose, I think this is a game that the Giants really have a chance to show everybody what they are made of, even if they lose. If they put on a fight similar to what they did against the Steelers on the road against this Rams team, that's going to get a lot of fans, that have kind of fallen off the Joe Judge train already, and even the Daniel Jones train. I don't even want to get on that right now. Everyone talking about tanking for a quarterback. I don't want to talk about that, but it's all over the place. I think I speak for myself when I say this, but what I want to see out of the Giants this year is progress. Small, even if it's small, tiny, bit-by-bit progress on a week-by-week, game-by-game basis, even if it's a quarter-by-quarter basis. Hell, drive-by-drive. Be better. Show progress. Daniel Jones, don't make poor decisions. Stop turning the ball over. Maybe the offensive line gets better and better each week to where we actually believe in this unit going forward. Even if Cam Fleming may not be there long term, even if Kevin Zeitler is a potential trade target, give us something to be hopeful about. So far, the Giants have not done that. When you look at them offensively, they're legitimately the worst team in the league. In points per game, in yards per game, in rushing yards per game. The only statistics that they don't rank last in the league are in passing yards, but they're 26, so they bottom tier. And in time of possession, they're 30th, which again is terrible. And that's a big reason why the defense has been so gassed at the end of these games. And even though that wasn't really the case in the Bear game, the Giants' lack of consistency on offense cost them a chance to win that game in Week 2. And you can even say that was the case in Week 1. Last week, they just were bad throughout the entire game. And even then, in the first half, they were still in it. And then the second half just was a completely different story. The Giants' defense is still middle of the pack right now. Very similar to the Rams. They're 17th in points. The Giants' defense, they're 17th in points allowed, 13th in yards allowed, 20th in rushing defense, which is still not good, and 10th in passing defense. So the Giants' defense has given us reason to be hopeful because they have some bright stars on that defense. Bright younger stars, I should say. Even though Bradbury's not a young star by any means, he's been fantastic. Blake Martinez has been great. Even Leonard Williams has been amazing this year, in my opinion. Lawrence has looked great. Tomlinson. Lorenzo Carter's looked good. Kyler Fackrell's looked pretty good out there. Darnay Holmes has kind of been a mixed bag. He's had some good, he's had some bad. That penalty last week was obviously bad. But I'm willing to be patient with him because he's a rookie. Just like I'm willing to be patient with a guy like Andrew Thomas on the offensive side. And if Xavier McKinney was out there, we're going to be patient with him. Logan Ryan's looked pretty good. Julian Love has been kind of like Holmes. He's had some and he's had some really bad. He's had some okay moments. Defense, in my opinion, has been okay. There's definitely room for improvement, but there's definitely reason to be hopeful at the same time about the defense. And they will have their hands full this week. The Rams are averaging basically 30 points a game. They're at 29.7. That's 7th best. They're 3rd best in yards per game, basically 450. They average 170 yards per game on the ground, and that's not even first. That's 4th in the league. They scored 32 points last week and had a monster comeback against a good Bills defense. They almost won that game. But like I said, much like the Giants defense, they're kind of middle of the pack overall. They're 12th in points allowed. They're 19th in yards, 15th in rushing yards allowed, and they're 21st in passing yards allowed. But you cannot ignore who they have on that defensive line. Arguably the best player, the best defensive player in the league, Aaron Donald. He already has 3 sacks and a forced fumble this year. Giants' offensive line has been terrible. So there's a good chance he has an all-out day, just a huge day. I'm not saying he's going to have 4 or 5 sacks, but there is a good chance that he just wreaks havoc. And that goes back to my earlier point. Show progress. Be better. They're probably not going to be able to contain him all day. But just be better than you have been. Try to move the ball. Run the ball a little bit better. Hopefully Freeman gets more involved in the offense. I want to see more creativity from Jason Garrett because we're missing Saquon. We know that. We're missing Shepard. We know that. Evan Ingram's been a ghost. We need to see some variety. When you have as many weaknesses as the Giants do on offense, you have to try to be a little bit creative and mask those weaknesses the best you can. They can't protect Daniel Jones for that long. And we have seen how well Daniel Jones can run. He's the leading rusher on the team, for crying out loud. Utilize that more. Get some more play action in there. Use Devonta Freeman more in the passing game. Obviously, last week was his first game, so we knew we weren't going to see it, but we didn't see a lot of Dion Lewis either. Use the versatility of these players, even Wayne Gallman. Show a little bit of variety in the offense. It's been too bland. It's been very Tecmo Bowl-like, where you really have just 4 plays to run. That's really all we've seen from the Giants. And I want to see a lot less of Graham Gano in terms of, I don't want to see him kicking field goals as often as we do. I want to see extra points, fine. But if you get into the red zone, you got to score. That's something the Giants have been plagued by since before the Daniel Jones days and even before Jason Garrett. Something the Giants have always struggled with is red zone offense for whatever reason. So if you get in there into the red zone, you got to score touchdowns. So hopefully we see that this week. But yeah, going back to some stats, the Rams offense, they're really good. Jared Goff's off to a good start. 863 yards. He's completing 70% of his passes. 5 touchdowns. They run the ball really well, like I said. Henderson and Brown have basically been a split back committee so far. Henderson has 1 less carry than Brown does. They both ran for at least 145 yards on the year. They both have 2 touchdowns. Woods is having a good start to the year. He's got 13 grabs, almost 200 yards and a score. Connor Kupp's been the go-to receiver, 228 yards and a touchdown. Higbee has 3 touchdowns already on 134 yards. Giants defense is going to have their hands full. The offense is going to have to be better. Control the clock better because they haven't done that either. Defensively, if you get third down, if you get the Rams to third down, whether it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, get off the field. Giants' third down defense has been their biggest weakness. And late in the first half, they're giving up a touchdown every single week. That also has to stop. So we'll see if the Giants come out and look better. Like I said, I think it's going to be a real test to see what kind of team this is. If they can have a short memory and make us forget about that San Francisco game as much as possible and put up a better fight this Sunday. Will they do it? We'll see. I'm not too hopeful that they'll go out there and get a win. But like I said, I just want to see some improvement. So let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you think is going to come out on top? What do you think the score is going to be? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good day. Go Giants. Peace out.